Oil, gold, wheat, silver, cotton, you name it. If it was a commodity, it probably had a ridiculous run in 2010. Commodities surging. Some people maybe think it's all about speculation. Others say that it's not just the weak dollar and traders bidding prices higher. There is legitimate, honest-to-God demand lifting prices as well. It's probably a combination of both. So what will commodities do in 2011? Chris Wage writes, the root cause is mindless speculation. There will be a burst at some point, especially in oil. As usual, the Wall Street profit at any cost mentality is going to push us into a double dip recession. There is definitely some strong evidence to suggest that this isn't really a demand story as much as it is traders trying to capitalize on currency fluctuations and looking at a momentum asset that's just going to keep heading higher. Whether or not oil pushes us into a double dip recession, that remains to be seen. It's going to have to go a lot higher than I think where it currently is, but some people are worried that's going to happen. Phil Zern writes, where does the madness stop? While all the speculators, note that word again, get rich, the rest of us have to figure out how to pay for $5 gas and food that keeps getting more expensive every day. I think he raises a good point. So many economists dismiss what's going on with food and energy and look at so-called core inflation numbers, which do, in some respects, obscure the fact that people have to eat and drive places. You can't really look at the inflation picture and throw out commodities as an anomaly. It really isn't what the average consumer does. I don't know why economists continue to do so. However, Deborah Smith thinks that the run-up in commodities, particularly gold, is logical. She writes that growing demand from both China and India will continue to put upward pressure on the price of gold. In the case of China, demand from individual investors and China's central bank show no signs of slowing down. Definitely a good point. I think anyone that thinks that this is all about mindless speculation and greedy traders, they're really missing the point. They're missing the fact that emerging markets are driving the train, so to speak, in terms of the global economy, or at the very least, they're up in the engine with developed markets now. Finally, Torstein Horgmo does his best to channel the principal in the Breakfast Club when explaining what's going on with commodities, or at least that's what I think he's doing. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Clearly, despite what I said about demand driving commodity prices higher, there is an undeniable amount of momentum as well, and some people are afraid to get in the way of momentum, and that could keep prices heading higher for the foreseeable future.